Hello everyone, I hope you're having a good day. Welcome back to another episode of the best mods of the week in Baldur's Gate 3's Mod Manager for the week ending July 5th, 2025. We got lots of faces, cosmetics, these outfits that you see on my character, and you might notice they're a little bit large, and we'll get into all of that in this video. The first mod I want to start off with is actually extremely exciting. This is the Rugan Restoed, a sweet sight. This is made by Mage, and it restores cut content from the game. So in Act 1, you can talk to Rugan, who is supposed to have a bit of a quest line where you go and meet with him again in Act 3, and you weren't able to previously do that. Now you can with this mod. So it's cool because it actually still works if you follow the prerequisites that are listed in this mod. And once you make it to Act 3, you can literally just download this mod and still get all that content. So Nikjima has made this. They've also made a lot of other really great mods related to like the Devils and Raphael. So I love this. Rugan Restoed. Really great to see more cut content getting restored into the game. And next up, we got The Way of the Forge, a muscly monk subclass by the Wailing Bard. Now, this mod is part of the July 2025 Modathon. What I love about this is it's a strength-based monk class that uses Morningstars, flails, Morningstars, and Warhammers as their monk weapons. You also get some special abilities like the Forge Magic, Unbearable Heat, which allows you to spend key points to deal additional fire damage on enemies. You can also use this attack to knock enemies prone. You get the Furnace Fists or Fires here whenever you hit a level 11. And then for 10 rounds after using this ability, enemies will take a 1d4 of fire damage. And then there's even a level 17 ability here, which adds our wisdom modifier to strength or constitution saving throws. And then you can also, instead of doing a punch attack, use a key point to be able to use some of your forge magics here. So there's a few different abilities, the keen weapon, heat metal, and the aura of iron here. This will make you take half damage from the physical damage types. And whenever you do any type of piercing or slashing damage, it'll add a d6 to the damage roll. It's concentration. There's 3 of those there. I'll be going further in detail and potentially a build on this in the future. The Wailing Bard has went off and also made another incredible mod this week with the Shadewalker Rogue subclass. So this is another mod as part of the July 2025 Modathon they put together. And I'm all for it because it's a rogue that gets the ability to use darkness to their advantage. And I think that's awesome because darkness is something you'd imagine a rogue being able to use. And without adding in the warlock or shadow magic sorcerer, you can't. So it gives you the Dark Stalker, basically giving you the dark vision. Up to 9 meters in both magical and non-magical darkness, and if you already have dark vision, it increases this by a 4.5 meters, and when sitting in a cloud of darkness, you have advantage on any attack roll as long as the creature cannot see through it. So advantage on your attacks, obviously that's really useful when you're trying to do sneak attacks. Shade color smaller, so you can create a 2 meter radius or a 4 meter radius darkness. You can teleport there using Shadow Strike charges, which are unique to this class. You also get the Mantle of Gloom. When obscured, your resistance to necrotic and psychic damage. And additionally, when you use Shadow Strike, you gain temporary health points equal to half your rogue level. I'll be posting future videos on both of these as the Wailing Bard has put out so many really great class mods. So yeah, those are some of the few that we got this week. Also, we got the Circle of the Claw Druid subclass. Now, I just did a build making Wolverine using base game classes, and I think this would have been even easier and better to use. But this one by Circralis here. This comes with unique primal wild shapes here, and you get things like the Panther and Tressum wild shape at level 2, and you expend your wild shape charges to stay in your form for 2 turns and later 3, and you can then use your wild shape charge to extend that, and they only give temporary health. It doesn't give you a whole new health bar like the normal Druid would. You basically want to cast a spell and then go into your primal form and then expend your wild shape charges to stay in that as long as possible, dealing damage. You can also use like the Tressum shape to group enemies together like a minor illusion and then go ahead with attacking them, because you can see here the Tressum spell list is Cantress, Mage Hand, and the minor illusion. As it levels up, it gets even more. And then you also have like the Deathrothe here, which is strong against any type of inanimate objects. And then you have the Aliaramus dinosaur form with corrosive, poisonous, and combustible spit, and it compounds. And the Cloaker here, which gives you the ability to spawn phantasms, which cause fear, multi-attack on those feared enemies. And then you got a Sonic Wave and a Blast from range, so giving you a bit of thunder damage as well. I think this is a really interesting class mod. As a fan of the Druid, the Circle of the Claw is a lot of fun. Now, I previously covered this outfit in a couple of videos. It was previously only available on Nexus mods, and thanks to Eclipse putting together these ports of the mods from Nexus, this mod here made by Ren Mods is the Blessing of the Raven Queen outfit. This is incredible. Or the one that's on Shadowheart is a Blessing of the Raven Queen, and this one is the Valkyrie Queen outfit by Ren and ported over by Eclipse as well. So 2 outfits here to be showing off. So you can see the one that's on Shadowheart there, and then the ones on my character. And the nice part about this is it's fully dyeable. So if you wanted to give it a whole new appearance, you get the power to do so. So you can see there with the, I just put the white dye from Favoring Colors on. completely changes this. I think this is one of the most intricate looking outfits in the game, and it also fits well thematically. I think that the tutorial chest spawning mod that I'm using to bring in the Raven Queen outfit is kind of bugged, as it says that you could use the immersive tutorial chest to make this work a little bit better if it's not, but I do have the outfits here. So basically you can see what that is on Shadowheart. And then there's one, if you, you can see here, you can see at the cape, headdress, and gloves there, but I'm not able to get the armor set to come in. And if I remove that, she just doesn't have anything on. So you do have to use the camp clothing one. As far as I know, if you're using the tutorial chest, it might just be a thing on my end here. I was trying to get it to work for the video, but I was fully able to get the Valkyrie Queen here. So yeah, both of these outfits look awesome, and I'm always happy to see more of these come to console, or come to the in-game mod manager, potentially down the road, maybe come to console as well. But speaking of console, we actually got some big improvements there. This is also for PC too, with the Goliath Race for console made by CryptoHack here, which makes it a spell version of the a race mod, as race mods aren't typically, or aren't able to come to console, unfortunately, due to just limitations of the platforms themselves. This mod will make it so that you can actually turn yourself into a Goliath here using this. So incredible to see this. We've gotten a few big breakthroughs as far as race mods go for console, and CryptoHack has put this together. You may also know them, I previously mentioned, for like the Marauder class mod, Oath of Redemption, and a few others here. And this is another workaround and hopefully comes to console here soon. I know a lot of people really want to be a Goliath, and that's not too hard of a change, because it's not like it's going to make your character look completely different or anything. They all have different giant ancestries depending on which one you chose, like a frost giant, a fire giant, hill giant, storm giant, stone giant there. And they all come with different ritual spells, things like that. Like the hill giant cannot, you become, if you hit a target, you can apply the prone condition with it there as a ritual spell. And they also get the legacy version of the Goliath, gain advantage on athletics checks, carry capacity is doubled, resistance to your elemental damage type that you choose, and being able to shrug off damage once as a reaction. The nice thing is, if you're on PC and you just want a race mod on an existing playthrough without changing your character, that's what you can do with these mods. So very, very nice to see. We also got some Ase mods, like the Ase races Gnoll, Harpy, Hobgoblin, Hag, and Djinni. I've covered this in a previous video talking about console race mods. These are mods that are intended for console use, as I really want to make a big shout out to Ase for putting this together for console players, because she saw my videos and how there wasn't going to be race mods for console, and she worked hard to make it happen, and their Goblin mod just got added to console last week. So this is also great for PC players though, because if you want to just turn yourself into a Gnoll while you're in the middle of a playthrough, maybe you got bit by a were-Gnoll or a were-Hag, and you turn yourself into one of these at any point. All it does is it gives you an underwear that you equip onto your character. They have preset different appearances here, and they've made some actually really cool customized appearances. So you just equip that outfit, and then you take the appearance of this. I also mentioned that my character was large. That's from the Ase Small and Tall mod, which is a visual mod that came out earlier this week. And that's how my character is able to be even larger than Halson here. So what this ends up doing is it adds a backpack into the game here, a big and small backpack. And if you wanted to be, let's say, a small person here, you can then turn yourself into tiny. So I like these because they're just simple, and you just equip it onto your character, then all of a sudden, hey, I'm small. So it allows you to experience Baldur's Gate 3 from an entirely new perspective. And you can see here some more examples of what that looks like on the different characters. I think it's awesome. So yeah, it's made by Ace243. Also some more Ase mods here. We got the 5 Shadow Cats of Ill Omen. And another shout out to Ase. They also recreated my cat Hunter in this, which is amazing. So there's different ones here. There's Marilyn, Hunter, Kumo, Ernie, Pride, and Nimbus. So those are the different cats. It works as a replacement for the Shadow Magic Sorcerer as their kind of pet. It's kind of themed around that. Another nice thing is they actually fixed a bug, and this was a question I was getting on my videos. In the game, Nimbus the Shadow Hound has his health listed as 33 health points when it's supposed to be 42, and that's usually when you summon it in, the Shadow Hound will actually have 42 health points. So they fixed that in the script itself, which is kind of nice. So it starts at 42 health points as intended. And so yeah, it adds in these different cats here, and there's actually a couple different ones. So there's the Ase Shadow Cats of Ill Omen. There's the Ase Cat Backpack, which is recently updated here. This one came in a little previously. And there's also the Ase 2 Cats for Honor mode. These cats aren't like powerful. They're meant to more so just be a companion with you on the game. I think that's cool. More mods that aren't game breaking and just offer some nice experiences. But I really like the Tressum Paracat here. So I'll just show off briefly what these look like. So the Ace Cat backpack here, summon Hunter the cat here. So then you go ahead here, summon in your own little furry fella here. Awesome. It also has its own unique picture there. It is a cute little kitty. Yeah, look at that. Roar of Courage. All allies gain advantage on dexterity strength checks. The Meow here, which can draw enemies towards you. Bonus Claw Strike, and then a Claw Strike. So some of them have a little bit of a combat advantage. The honor mode ones do not. And again, with the 5 Shadow Cats Ill Omen, what this does is once you hit level 6, in addition to the Hound of Ill Omen, you get the Cat of Ill Omen. So here you go, the Cat of Ill Omen. You can summon in Hunter here, and boom, he has all the same abilities as the Hound of Ill Omen. And then it has the Umbral Tangle there, Meow of Umbral Tangle, and then also the Ominous Claws instead of the Ominous Bite. So this can place the Omen on them. Functionally identical to how Nimbus works. And yeah, it's cute. You can play with my cat Hunter. It's awesome. And then also, I think that this one here looks cool. I just want to showcase this. So the Pride, it's a Tressum that's colored like a parrot. And I think that that's pretty cool and different. I always enjoy things like this. So yeah, Parrot Tressum. Very cool. Lots of cats hanging around at our camp now. And speaking of different summons, that's a pink mage hand that you're looking at. So yeah, this is now possible with the pink mage hand mod made by Teve Inc. here. I like this because the mage hand is something that's, I think, very underrated in Baldur's Gate 3. You can use it to throw health potions, water bottles, etc. Making it pink looks cool. I don't know. I'm a fan. Also, we got some cool new mods for photo mode with the Kithrak photo shoot. So this now gives different poses for the dragons and adds Dragon and Githyanki animal animations to photo in 5 collections: Dragon Combat, Dragon Idol, Dragon Flight, and Dragon Coward, all for dragons, and the Dragon Kithrak there for human players. So if you summon in a dragon, you can then use this mod to be able to give them poses in honor mode. As you can see, this looks really cool. So RD Henrietta has made this. They made a few other really great mods I've covered in the past with their different photo shoots and things like that. And we also got some cosmetic mods. So this is the Maya and Talia mod by Cetastarians, ported over by Eclipse. So these faces work on all elves, tieflings, and humans. This is what the Maya face looks like, elf version, and then the Talia there. And while I'm on the topic of face mods, I also got the Alyssa CC head preset by Cetastarians, ported by Eclipse here. This is the one that I started off the video with. I think it looks nice. So yeah, that's the Alyssa CC head preset there. Cetastarians ported by Eclipse. Now I love this. Ranger Reimagined. The creative excuses here has made a few different really awesome overhaul mods. Baldur's Gate 3 Chocolate Edition, improved feat, emerging class is complete, and a bunch of others. This gives us the Ranger Reimagined, which changes how the Ranger works. So let's just face it, the Ranger is kind of like, if you're to go with a half caster, the Paladin is much better. So there's a lot in this. It gives you the ability to cast spells from very limited spell lists, gives access to elemental druid theme, but not limited cantrips, new favorite enemy passives changed to the Ranger's training, and a small selection of new leveled spells from the druid spell list. This is for the July Modathon as well. And yeah, this adds some different spells here like Hail Thorns, Ensnaring Strike, Ice Knife, Cloud of Daggers, Conjure Barrage, and Lightning Arrow. These uses your instinct charges instead. And yeah, this is actually a pretty large overhaul. If you're a fan of the Ranger but feel like they got kind of left with less than ideal builds in Baldur's Gate 3, this is worth checking out because there's actually a lot of stuff. And I'll probably be doing a future video on this to showcase the Ranger Reimagined. Now, another thing that I think is nice is potent spellcasting as a feat. This is made by MBM92. This is literally posted earlier today. And I think this is awesome because what it does is it adds a half feat where you get to increase either 1 point in Wisdom, Intelligence, or Charisma, and also gives the passive feat potent spellcasting, which allows you to add your spellcasting modifier to cantrip damage. So this is pretty cool because this is something that's exclusive to just the cleric, and now you can get it on anything. You can put on your Eldritch Blast, which obviously it does become really strong, but it's fun. So yeah, if you love it, Eldritch Blast, this is great for you, but it's also going to some other cantrips as well. And also, we got ourselves a new Copperleaves mod. This is CL Steampunk Short Queen. So you can see here the appearances of each of these. I think they look nice, and it's more so for like a gunslinger style class. So yeah, we're checking out. I like all of the Copperleaves mods that come out. They're all fun. Also, the Vestments of the Unyielding Radiance by J. Radicus here. So this adds a new chest to the game with some armor. It is powerful, but I do want to cover it. So it gives you the ornate glowing chest. You get the Judicator's Crown there. So creatures who miss an attack roll. This is similar to the one of the other helmets in the game. If they miss you, they take radiant damage. You regain 1 to 4 health points when you deal radiant damage. You can't be critically hit. and you get the improved Spirit Guardian. So I guess I'll put all these armor sets on just to show this all off. It also comes with weapons, rings, shields, and there's also camp clothing and a dye for it as well. So with this, in addition, you also get a cape that gives you temporary health points, 29 of them. And also, when you're hit with an attack, when you have temporary health, you deal 1d8 of radiant damage on blind targets. The armor will give you allies within 6 meters of you 1+ to armor class and resistance to necrotic, and enemies in the same range become vulnerable to radiant, which is obviously pretty strong, and sets constitution to 20. Sunlash gauntlets, when the wielder deals radiant damage, they do a radiant shockwave. So that's similar to the luminous armor, apply radiating orbs on the enemies. And this also applies 2 more turns of radiating orbs and a +2 to attacks. Judgment's advanced, you gain freedom to move in a long strider, and when we inflicting addition, we do 2 turns of reverberation. I love the Boots of Stormy Clamor, so this is a part of that in this set, +2 to wisdom. And then the sword will give you proficiency advantage on attack rolls against anyone that's marked with a radiating orb, and shed intense light, and enemies will become blinded. And then also the shield, whenever you deal radiant, lightning, or thunder damage, you apply reverberation, so similar to the gloves of the Belligerent Skies, and advantage on saving throws against spell attack rolls against you at disadvantage, similar to the Viconia's Walking Fortress. And then this will give you 2 points. So this is like the Callus Glow Ring and the Coruscation Ring there, so both of those combined in one. This is like all the Radiating Orb gear. That's the reason I want to cover it. I love Radiating Orbs in Baldur's Gate 3, and getting a full kind of armor set to build off of that is awesome. It's great for the Blade Singing Wizard multi-class with the Light Cleric. It's one of my new favorite builds in patch 8. But that's the Vestments of Unyielding Radiance by J. Radicus. We also got another, I cover every single Azazel Was Taken mod that we get. NPC Redesign Cazador Szarr by Azazel and Blossom. So this makes Cazador look different, evil. I like these because if you play Baldur's Gate 3 multiple times, it's sometimes just nice to see the multiverse of BG3. Thank you to Azazel Was Taken for putting out something awesome like this for Cazador. Yeah, we also got Incognito Burrito and their Book of Wizards, 5th edition Wizard Subclasses mod. This adds 2 classes that were left out of the game with the War Magic and the Order of the Scribes. I'll likely cover these in a future video, because we do have like the Order Domain, the Circle of the Shepherd. I've covered their classes previously. So yeah, War Magic, they get 2 different level features. So you can use the Arcane Deflection, which will increase your armor class by 2 or your saving throws by 4 to protect you, but then you can't cast spells for that turn. Only can use cantrips, and you can add your intelligence modifier to your initiative rolls, and the Awakened Spellbook, so you get a bunch of ritual spells. The Order of the Scribes has been, I covered it previously in a different mod, but this is another reversion of it, and I think it's really well done. You can attune yourself to an element, which will ignore resistance of that elemental damage type, and inflict extra damage equal to your intelligence modifier. And you can also learn any scroll half the cost. So pretty cool. And as you continue to level up, you get some extra features here. I'll cover this in a future video. You can check this out if it sounds interesting to you. And finally, ending off with a dice mod. I haven't covered these much previously, but I think this is a really good one by Sultry Shay here. Fire and Smoke die. They look nice. That's, yeah. So you can just see the appearances there. I'm always a fan of really unique and interesting looking die mods, and this is another solid one. So just want to cover that there. But that is the best mods of the week. Lots of cats, new armor, some classes, and a lot of great things. I'll be doing a future video on the Baldur's Gate 3 July 2025 modathon, so let me know what you'd like to see in that. And comment your favorite mod from this week. Let me know what it was, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great day.